2, 1.
Welcome to Made for More Living.
One small step for man.
With Johnny Jennings.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
The fastest and most exciting hour of news, events, and real estate in Northern California.
And this is a fact that was proved.
Online at madeformorerealty.com.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Get ready. Here we go.
So on today's show, we have a special guest, and listed in her history, she's done many things, but one of them DJ and recovering real estate agent.
Yes.
So what do you mean by recovering? So by the way, it's Lyndsay Brown with 2 Men in a Truck.
Yay!
Thanks for being on the show, Lyndsay.
Round of applause.
Round of
for
applause.
Myself and no one else. It's okay.
It's okay. Party of one. So tell us what you mean by that. You told us you are a recovering real estate agent. What did you mean?
Oh, geez, Johnny, don't you know what I mean?
I have no idea.
Oh, my gosh. Okay,
So how long were you a real estate agent?
Yeah.
How long were you a real estate agent? Why did you get into real estate?
I was a realtor from 2016. I didn't do it terribly
For a few years then.
From 2016 to like 2020, the beginning of 2020
Okay.
is when I went back into like the work, like the, not workforce, but like the, like, what do you call civilian
You went back
life?
to, you just, because you had, is that when you had your child, was 2016?
No, I had Aubrey in 2015. So I stayed at home with her for a little while, and then I wanted a job where I could make decent money, but have the flexibility to, take care of my daughter. And I was married at the time, so it just made sense. I got my real estate license. My dad was actually like, I really hope people discourage you from that. And it was just weird.
Discourage you from getting your real estate license?
I don't
Oh, wow.
I don't know why he
Was he local?
Yeah, he was local,
Okay.
but I don't know why he was discouraging me. I mean, it turned out to be a really good move for me at the time. But I went to, I got my real estate license. I went to Keller Williams. I capped my first year. I was within the top 20% of producing agents. I sold 11 houses my first year.
That's a great first year.
I know. I was so proud of myself.
Like, this is easy.
I'm like, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But then about a year and a half later, my then husband and I decided to separate. I became a single mom. I had primary custody of my daughter. And so going from having someone every weekend to watch her, having the freedom to do open houses, showings whenever I wanted, to having primary custody of a 3-year-old, beautiful, amazing human being. I didn't want to drag, and there's no judgment, do what you will with your kids, but I personally didn't want to drag her all over Sacramento for showings.
It's hard.
Took her to one open house. The first, 15 minutes in, she's like, are we going to go home soon? And I was just like, oh, okay, this is not going to work.
Yes, in the next 3 hours, we're going home.
Yeah, it was a 3-hour open house, actually it was. But yeah, so I went back into marketing and it was a good move for sure.
Awesome.
But yeah, I ended up coming back around, and now I'm a vendor in the real estate industry, and I'm so happy because I get to hang out with all my old people, and I'm on salary, so I don't have that, looming.
When's the
closing?
closing?
I don't have an escrow.
When's
oh no,
the closing?
yeah. Like when is? Yeah, totally. So
now you're no longer obviously in real estate.
Yes,
you
correct.
are with 2 Men and a Truck.
yes.
So how did you end up picking out of all the different vendors out
I
there?
want to be able to lean now, and I can't.
Okay.
Is that?
I just want to be able to hear you. Sorry, I was
Well, what if
adjusting her microphone so that people could hear her.
So out of all the different vendors
Ahem.
in the business, what drew you to two Men and a Truck?
Oh, it's a good question. A good thing about working in business development for 2 Men and a Truck is, am I close enough?
No, you're good.
Okay,
Go.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all paranoid, and
I know. You sound great. I just want to make sure the mic is picking you up.
God, Sacramento allergies strike again, I swear. The good thing about my position is real estate is my main focus, my main category, but I also do a lot of work with the senior living industry, with storage companies, with colleges that, there's a lot of opportunity for growth in my position.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of success with, getting relationships going again with realtors I used to work with and friends. So
I honestly don't have a good moving company. We're always
now you do, sir.
I know, but now I do. We're always on the hunt for somebody to help us fill that void.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can see how, with your background, you were a great find for Two Men in a Truck.
Oh, thank you.
Right, just to get out there and spread the word.
Yeah, thank you.
So you joined Two Men in a Truck, and then I like their story. Like you
I know, I love it.
You mind just sharing a little bit like how it started? Because I thought Two Men in a Truck, it's just two dudes who drink beer and like pizza and lift heavy things. But that's not.
I feel like they probably do that.
Okay.
But there definitely is more to the story. So when I first got hired, I thought Two Men in a Truck was a local company because the branding is so like
simple.
It's so simple. I don't know if I should have done that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Anyways.
So we're just lifting up a cup and it
Over
shows
here,
that
too.
logo. It shows a little logo with the truck on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't have a professional graphic designer.
No, but who drew that? There's a great story.
Okay. So the company speaks to my heart as well because I'm also a single mom. The company was started by a single mom and her two sons, which a lot of people don't know about, which, like I said, I absolutely love. So she was trying to figure out a way to put her kids through college. And so they got this truck. They started just moving people. And sure enough, they got through college. They got so much business that when they were out of college, you know, they were kind of like, well, why don't we actually try to make this a thing, you know? And so it grew and grew and grew. And now we're international and we have over 500 franchises in the United States alone. Every franchise is locally owned and operated, which is also great. But yeah, it's really inspiring being a single mom working for a company that was a huge company that was started by a single mom and her two sons. So
Yep. And she's the one that drew the logo, right?
she drew the logo. Yes. It's so funny also because we're based in Michigan. So all of these, like when I first started, it was like 2 weeks of training. Like I was sitting in front of the computer and I'm like, get me out. I want to get out so bad. You know, just, I love being out and
meeting people.
mingling. Yeah. And doing stuff like this. But I was sitting there for 2 solid weeks with headphones on and they're like, oh yeah, here at Two Men in a Truck. Like the accent is like etched in my brain and I don't want to be rude or anything, but it's funny. But I'm sure if like a California person was doing that, they'd be like, okay, dude, like what's, I don't know. I got off.
But that was cool. So they actually flew out to Michigan where they were founded.
Oh no, I didn't get flown out. I was sitting in front of a computer.
Oh, it was
training.
virtual.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
that would have been cool. I would have liked that. I've never been to Michigan. But.
Yeah, I have.
What's it like?
Cold.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like what is there like a nice time of year there? There's got to be like spring and fall maybe.
So when Valerie and I were traveling all 50 states, we thought like when you think humidity, I think like Florida, I think like Louisiana. I didn't realize in the northern parts of the country, it gets humid.
Well, because of the Great Lakes there, probably.
But
right?
I had no idea. Like I thought it'd be nice, and so apparently everything east of the Rockies just.
You
gets
know what
humid.
else is surprisingly humid that I always forget about? When you're on a golf course and it's hot.
Yeah, golf courses.
Like when it's crazy hot here in Sacramento. Like I'm actually hosting a hole at the Women's Council of Realtors. The tournament coming up next month. It's at Teal Bend, but I'm already like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so humid. Sorry, again, I got off topic.
I'll
let you host. I keep like.
No,
taking,
you're fine. You're fine. But so basically, Two Men in a Truck, 500 franchise owners in the U.S. There's a franchise owner, obviously locally in Sacramento.
Yes, Mark.
Yes.
And
so I have so many questions about moving because I've only used a moving company once. And so I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. Like I said, we don't have any good vendors to help us with this. So
now you do 2 Men in a Truck.
Got to do 2 Men in a Truck. So what is it something people typically underestimate about moving day? Like when they hire you, like what would you tell them if they were looking to hire you guys?
The thing that I overhear, I don't work directly with clients very often. It's mostly referral sources, but I do overhear our move consultants working with them a lot. I do overhear people, they just underestimate how much stuff they have and also how long it's going to take. Or, you know, sometimes people forget that their attic is full or stuff in the garage. I mean, our reps do their best to ask all of those questions, but sometimes people just don't.
They forget about that shed.
I'll only
they
need a
walked
10-foot truck. It should be fine. We'll be able to cram it all in.
Well,
there.
luckily, all of our trucks are 25 feet. They're all the same size. But sometimes, I mean, we have had moves where we've had to send another truck out with more guys.
How many trucks do you guys have?
We have 13 25-foot trucks at our yard.
Wow.
Plus, I drive a little transit. So if you ever see a little transit driving around Sacramento, that's me. Give me a wave. And we also have like a cargo van for transporting more movers and stuff like that.
Okay, so you guys definitely have like a serious operation
We've got a
going.
fleet, yes.
A fleet, there you
Yes.
go. But we were also describing too, like, because I'm like, how do the costs and everything work? It's hard. We can't really go over that on the air.
Yeah.
But you have this great software program that, like,
Oh, yeah.
as they're talking you through and asking, hey, how many couches, what size beds, how many beds, it actually, like, there's a visual image of the truck filling up.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's like a little truck, and as our CSRs, customer service reps, move consultants, they have like 15 different names. But as they're putting stuff into the computer, the truck fills up. It slowly fills up. So we'll get an idea of the percentage. And our guys are like professional Tetris guys. Like they're super trained on like packing, unpacking, all that stuff, but also how to most efficiently get everything into the truck so we don't actually, like need to send more trucks out.
Yeah.
They really do a good job with.
Like, saves on cost.
Yeah, and like we train them also on, what to put at the bottom, what to like. Yeah, it's our training system is very robust as far as packing and everything that goes into a move.
Yeah.
We've really perfected.
So if somebody's like looking to make a move, the best way to figure out pricing and kind of go about that is just to contact 2 men in a truck, and just make sure you know like what's in the attic, what's in the garage, what's in that shed in the backyard you haven't gone into in 5 years.
Yes.
Are you taking that with you?
Well, also a lot of times people forget just basic, patio furniture and stuff like that. So really visualize your entire, like I would say visualize just walking through your house, like closets, attics, basements. I mean, I have a basement that's full of junk. I need to clean it out.
You need to call 2 men in a truck.
I do.
Get that stuff out.
No, I need to call in some serious help with my house, but we don't need to talk about my
No,
messy.
That's a different day. But
My
just
messy
visualize everything and then making sure that when you're on the phone with them, that way you get an accurate quote. They know how many trucks and stuff to send
And I
out.
mean, it really is an estimate. It's not a guaranteed rate. So, but we also, another cool thing about us is we bill, if our guys have to go over, we don't bill another full hour. We bill in 15-minute increments.
Oh, that is really neat.
So that's nice. So, if they're over by 5 minutes, you're not going to get charged for another hour or half hour. It'll be 15 minutes. So
Got it. When we come back, we're also going to talk about what's something that makes your company different and how they're trained, because they're not just they're not randomly just tossed into the field and told to pack up boxes.
yeah, no.
Back after this.
Back after this.
All right, it's time for this week's listing of the week. Johnny, take it away, buddy.
Are you looking for space, comfort, and convenience? Well, check out 3862 Mission Avenue in Carmichael. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, corner lot home with two-car garages. That's a total of 4-car garage space, and it has RV access. And it has a private backyard with a pool and a waterfall and a spa-covered patio and gazebo. Come enjoy the ceiling fans in every room. It's just a layout made for living. If you love fresh fruit, you'll love this home because you will have apple, cherry, and pomegranate trees right in your yard. All in a quiet neighborhood close to parks, schools, shopping, and freeways. Don't miss out. Call me, Johnny Jennings, at madeformorerealty.com today.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings. Online at madeformorerealty.com.
So we are back with Lyndsay Brown, and she works for 2 men and a truck.
Sure do.
Premier moving service here in Sacramento. And so again, Valerie and I have only had one person kind of help us move, because we started moving. We're like, is it really worth it? And we started moving, and we're like, oh my gosh, our backs are tired.
Yeah.
Like we have little kids that are like running around, and so we ended up calling a moving service. And I was really impressed with it was just I don't even know how we found them, honestly, but how quick and how easy it was.
Yeah.
Because even after we finished the move, I was like, okay, if we had to move back, we would know how to move all this stuff much more efficiently now that we've done it once. But you guys actually have like a training program that you walk them through. Can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a pretty robust training program. Not only do we teach them we do packing and unpacking services. That's an option for people, definitely. But we really go into a lot of detail about how to deal with different personality types, which I don't think a lot of other moving companies do. For example, there will be a lot of moves are not happy moves. They're not like, oh, yay, we bought a house. Some moves are domestic violence situations. Some moves are, moving mom out of a home that she shared with dad, and dad just passed away, and she's moving into assisted living. Or, in that same category of the senior move. A lot of times we will move people that are suffering from Alzheimer's or some type of dementia or memory care issues. So our guys get training on, if there's a person who asks the same question multiple times, we train them, don't get frustrated. They are dealing with certain issues that you may not know about. Yeah. Or if somebody gets upset, they're like, oh, don't move that. That's my grandfather's favorite, I don't know, clock or something. We teach them how to deal with those situations. Plus, they are also working really hard, and moving is one of the absolute most stressful.
Absolutely horrible. Yeah.
Because I've worked with two men in a truck before many times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, absolutely. And those are a couple of things that I noticed right away is that they're patient. And they're
Very
just
patient.
calm and relaxed,
Yeah.
which, like she said, can be a very stressful situation, but they are not stressed at all.
Yeah.
They're very patient, take their time in making sure that, I think that's one of the most important aspects is making sure that this time of transition and everything that's going on, which is stressful for the client, no matter what the situation is, even if they're just moving down the street, but having that calm, patient, presence with your moving company is very helpful.
Yeah. I mean, so we were talking about this morning. We do a morning huddle every day with the team. And we're talking about the value in having a good attitude.
Yeah.
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh. Emotional intelligence, emotional regulation. Yeah. That's
It's a game changer, not only in your personal life, but also in your professional life. And so I'm thinking about like how stressed out Valerie and I were on our most recent move, and it's hot, everybody's sweaty, you can't find anything, people are hungry, tired. And then the movers ended up coming in. They were super level-headed.
It's so funny because I'm out in the field probably 80% of the time. But when I do go back into the office, sometimes I get the chance to see the drivers or the drivers and movers pulling in and getting out of the truck and going in into the operations building. And they're all in such good moods, and they're kind of skipping around. And it's so funny. I told my manager this. He's like, please don't ever say that to the movers. But I was like, I feel like it's our boys are coming home from war or something. And these are like the rock stars. Like we're like, oh yay! But he's like, don't ever say that to them, please, because they don't want their egos. But I'm like, whatever. But
that's how happy they are. They just seem like they really enjoy their work.
They enjoy their work. We treat them very well. We respect them. They're our employees. We really take care of them. So it does.
That's a good point. They're not contracted out, so you have more control, more accountability.
Yes, and the liability is on us, if they get hurt or anything like that. So.
And you guys, it's you mentioned you do randoms, so you do
random
testing.
drug testing, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's good.
You don't have to worry about anybody in your home that's going to be, stealing or anything like that. These are our guys, and they're very trained. We trust them.
If you see Liz show up in a moving truck, then you should be concerned.
Liz or
Lyndsay, sorry, Lyndsay.
Oh my gosh, I was like, you guys have a nickname already.
Do I look like Liz? Do I look like a Liz?
Yes, absolutely.
You don't want me in one of those, trust me.
The ice water with the mitt.
Should we talk about should we save that story for later about my U-Haul ish?
No, let's talk about it because this is a good point. Like I was
didn't
thinking,
know about this. And it's funny.
I was thinking about like why don't you just hire? Why don't you just bring a couple buddies, borrow a truck, and make the move? Especially
buy pizza, and that's what most people seem to do.
In your 20s, that works. In your 20s, a pizza and a 6-pack of beer is great. Like
some PBR.
Yeah, totally. Like I've done that countless times. I am in my 40s, almost in my mid 40s. It's okay.
You're young for an oak tree. It's
okay. Yes, I'm young for an oak tree, and I'm full to the brim with Botox and fillers. So we're doing well.
You're preservatives.
Yes, I'm preserved in time.
Yeah.
But where was I? Oh yeah,
the U-Haul.
So the U-Haul. So I was a young, ambitious, engaged woman at one point. And my then fiance and I were moving from Midtown to Land Park. We rented a U-Haul. we began to argue, as a lot of couples do, just in life, but also specifically in moving. Like, it's the most stressful
I don't know
thing.
what you're talking about. That's when Valerie and I, wait, we move just for fun.
We get along so
Yeah.
well all the time. I don't know what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
Before someone gets married, they should be forced to have a moving experience
Together.
so you really get to know the person under a stressful situation.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jeff. His name's Jeff. He's the father of my child. I love him. He's one of my closest friends. Like it just didn't work out, obviously. But we moved from Lake Tahoe. We used to live in South Lake Tahoe, so we moved from Tahoe to Sacramento, and we actually rented a U-Haul and had to. I haven't thought about this in forever. We had to tow one of our cars. So like we've done multiple moves together, but this specific move. So I was driving the U-Haul. I can't remember why I was driving. I've always prided?
You're always proud of how
I
well.
have always been proud of myself for my driving skills. I used to live in LA and I could parallel park anything. But this day I was not paying attention and we were arguing and I think I was like, take the ring back, just this dramatic thing.
I can't envision that with you
I'm
at
not
all.
like that anymore. I've grown since then.
I can't see that at all.
I've grown. Anyway, so I'm trying to park the car in Midtown, and I wasn't paying full attention, and I sideswiped my own car.
Your own car.
While I'm in the middle of an argument that I think I was winning.
You were
which
winning
is
up to
so
that
annoying.
point.
Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, I not only look like a complete idiot, I also have to fork out money, and so it was a whole thing. About $3,000 later, I got my car fixed, and we that move cost so much more than if we would have just hired movers because I sideswiped my own car.
So movers for moms, or I'm sorry, 2 men in a truck, not only helping you move, but possibly saving marriages, right?
I mean, it didn't actually. Well, yeah. I mean, but I don't think that.
But the point is that sometimes you're saving. Here's the thing too, though, when you're moving stuff like refrigerators, TVs, furniture, like some of this stuff is not cheap.
Yeah.
And if you break it, now you have to replace it. Whereas if you would have just hired a mover.
Well, also we have a ton of moving supplies as well. I actually just finished working on this fancy list, but we've got TV boxes. We've got I'm trying to remember the technical term, but we have a box that's specifically for dishes. It's like a dish. It doesn't matter, but we've got a ton of different supplies. And
So you can just buy them from you guys, like online?
And we can, if you spend over $80, we can deliver them for free too. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but
Most people will need more than $80 worth of boxes if you're buying them.
Yeah, totally.
I always remember when, in my many years of moving, is that I never strapped everything down properly.
Yeah.
I'd be driving down the road thinking, oh crap, what was that sound?
Yeah.
Oh no, shoot, I hope that wasn't the TV.
Oh, during that move, now that I think about it, during that move that Jeff and I did it was the one from Tahoe to Midtown. We got to Midtown and our apartment wasn't ready yet. And I totally forgot until the apartment was ready. It was like 3 days. It was so annoying. We had to find. Anyways, I took everything from the refrigerator and put it in a box. And I thought we were just there was raw chicken in there and stuff. So it was 3 days. And I think it was summer. No, it wasn't summer because there was snow on the ground. Anyways, so we opened the back of the U-Haul finally.
And all your stuff.
No, it wasn't all the stuff. It was just I was like, oh, the refrigerator box. There's chicken in it. It was just gross. I totally forgot that we had food. But I don't even think we could have done. We probably would have just thrown it away. But yeah, it was a whole thing.
But this
moving sucks.
It
moving
does.
sucks.
But this brings up a good point too, though. Are there certain things 2 men in a truck won't move?
Oh, that's a good question. We will not move anything living.
That sounds safe. But counting plants.
Yes, humans as well.
Yeah.
We also won't move dead humans, just for the record.
Okay,
we don't have that in writing, but just know that that's a thing. So we won't move anything living. We won't move any toxic materials, which includes human waste. So unfortunately, sometimes we'll show up to a location and specifically in the older community, sometimes there will be fecal matter on couches or anything. We want to make sure our guys are protected, so we won't move any toxic materials, no chemicals. If you've got a lawnmower or something, you have to make sure the gas is out of it. I forgot to tell you, we won't move weapons. If you have a gun safe, it has to be empty. What else won't we move? Our guys won't move anything over 500 pounds, but if you need something moved, we have a lot of connections. We can source out pianos and stuff like that.
Okay.
Jacuzzis, a lot of people ask for that. We don't move those unless they're under 500 pounds, but what jacuzzi is under 500 pounds?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
But okay, so that's good. So basically, common sense stuff.
Yeah.
They'll prep you. So like if you have gas or if you have containers and stuff like that, just make sure they're empty or they've been
I was going to
drained.
make a joke about having gas, and I just got distracted.
Okay.
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted-
Now's your chance.
No, I didn't.
Now's your chance.
Oh my God.
You're like, so if you have gas, I was like, if you have gas. Okay, go
Have we
ahead.
started broadcasting yet?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but basically, when they call, they get their quote. They know how many trucks they're going to need, and in that process, that's when they're also like told, "Hey, make sure you don't have this, this, this."
Do the girls?
So that way they know.
I'm trying to remember if I've overheard them say.
I'm sure it's somewhere in the paperwork. So that
Yeah, it's definitely in the paperwork. I don't know if they actually verbalize that during
That'd be a good
during
thing.
an estimate. Yeah, I don't. I think it's if people ask, but it's definitely in the paperwork that they get. Definitely, yeah.
And you guys also provide like a crate service, right?
Yeah, that's the crate service is best for cross country moves. If you kind of have an open end of like when you need your stuff, I would suggest the crate service because we put your stuff in a crate, load it up to one of those big, huge, long, like super long trucks. I don't remember the technical term, but it doesn't go from point A to point B. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're picking up other stuff along the way. But I would say if you're like moving to Florida or something like that and you need your stuff a specific day, just get one of our trucks, move it across country, and it's a lot more organized. Not organized. What's the word I'm looking for?
Cost efficient.
Direct, I guess you could say.
Okay.
No, it's actually more expensive that way.
Oh, the
But-
crate's more expensive.
No, the crate is more cost efficient.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, look at us.
There we go.
We're just getting all confused, huh?
But
Both
so
of
you,
us.
so you do have the crate service, and then so that's you mentioned a cross country moves. So you guys do local and cross country,
Yes.
international, all
Yep.
the way to Alaska.
Yes, all the way to Alaska, which is in the United States.
You got it.
Yes.
And then another cool thing that you guys do is no deposit. So
Correct.
they can reserve a spot and there's no upfront deposit.
Yeah. So we won't put a hold on your credit card or anything like that, like they do when you check into a hotel and you get charged for incidentals.
Yep. And so if somebody's thinking about making a move, when should they, like how much of a leeway do they need? Is it like next day or is it?
I mean, sometimes we can do next day. I've
Okay.
heard of that. We don't do same day, but yeah, we've done next day moves before. It just kind of it depends on how many trucks we have and how many guys we have. But we've done next day moves many
Okay.
times. Yeah,
But maybe just, reach out
couple
sooner rather
days
than
a
later.
week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
You could call us at 916-852-7411, or you can go to twomen.com/Sacramento. Or you could just really go to 2 Men in a Truck and just find us that
And
way.
you'll see the
'cause
local one.
location and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you just you can Google us. There's a lot of ways.
Wonderful. And then what is one thing that like 2 Men in a Truck wants people to know? Like what do they want them to feel? What do they want them to think after having hired you guys?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, one of our slogans is "We're the movers who care," and that absolutely is evident at the end of a move. Like I was saying earlier, our guys come home. They come back to the yard. They're like skipping and having a good time because they actually enjoy what they do. A lot of people dread moving. I hate it.
Me too.
But they're so well trained. They have great rapport, between themselves. We treat them really well. So, yeah, just that our guys actually do really care about your stuff, care about you, care about themselves, care about the company. So yeah, I think that's the major difference between us and other, if you just pick up some guys and say, hey,
Come down to the Home
come help me
Depot.
move.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say that, then I thought not to say it, but you said it, so now we're
I
talking
didn't
about
say it.
it.
I didn't say it.
What are you
but-
talking about?
No,
Go
I
to
mean,
the
there's
Home
something-
Depot. They rent trucks there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant get movers at
Sometimes
Home
they have
Depot.
available labor.
Oh,
That's what I was saying too. I was like, there's nothing, not that there's
I don't
anything wrong
understand
with
what
that.
you're trying to say,
Seinfeld.
Johnny. Well, I don't get it.
There is nothing wrong with that, but you really do get
So would you pay-
a value with us that you wouldn't get with other companies. And
I just like the accountability. Like
Yeah,
they work for you
totally.
guys, they've been trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in addition to, if you're not interested in moving, but maybe it's been a long year and you've accumulated a lot of stuff that you need to get rid of, you guys do junk removal, right?
Yes, we do junk removal. And another great, we didn't even talk about the junk removal.
I didn't know about that.
So a great thing about using us as opposed to, again, those little signs, you'll drive now, you're going to see them everywhere because your
the
Raz
bandit
is going to be up.
signs.
But those signs that say junk removal, call here. Well, a lot of those companies will grab your stuff, but they'll dump it by the side of the road. Like,
No way.
yes.
As long as it's not in my house. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Matt's
The
being
earth
real
is
over
all
there.
of our
Yeah, I
home.
didn't do it.
We all
Mother
live here.
Earth. No, but where we're located, we're in South Sac, and a lot of times to get to because I'm all over, like I said, but I'll go to Folsom, I'll go to Roseville, but sometimes I'll kind of take the back roads to get to Folsom from where we are. And there's there's always different types of junk all over the road. Like there's couches, there's refrigerators, there's just piles of stuff like people. So, we not only take stuff to the junk, but a lot of times our guys will go through the stuff and they'll be like, I want this, I want that. Or like if
So it gets recycled.
Yeah, totally. It gets recycled. I'm actually kind of, I don't know about considering, but I've been talking to a couple of charities about, donating furniture to them that we get that we can't use. But yeah, I mean, our guys are always grabbing stuff and.
So if you have stuff that you're trying to clean up the garage, or you got stuff in the house and you want to declutter, and instead of, borrowing a truck or finding somebody who has a truck and going down to the dump. And I don't know when the last time you've been down to the dump, Johnny, but it smells
I have never
terrible.
been to the dump.
And you
stinks.
back your truck up and then you got to haul it out, which I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a manly man and I'm very capable
You're very
of doing
manly.
that.
I was gonna mention that.
If you're older or you just don't want to go through all that hassle, how easy and convenient is it to call up 2 Men in a Truck? They show up to your house and they haul it up into the truck and it's gone in less than an hour. And you're like, phew, that was easy.
Oh my gosh, I have
Didn't even break a sweat.
the dorkiest thing that you totally just reminded me of. So like sometimes our guys will be, they'll finish a move and they'll kind of gather in the yard and they'll just be kind of like talking and stuff. Like a few weeks ago, I went up to them. I was like, hey guys, like they were getting out of the junk truck. And I was like, have you guys ever had someone go, what you gonna do with all that junk inside that truck? And they were just kind of like, no, we've never had that. I was like, okay, bye. I just like
That's
walked away.
because-
That would be a
I'm
fun
such
little
a
video.
goof.
You know
That'd be a
what?
fun
I
video.
know.
Because they don't know what the heck you're talking about. You're talking about a song that was before their time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, let's calm down with all that
talking
before
about-
their time.
Fergie, right?
Come on, DJ.
Black Eyed Peas.
It's not that old of a song.
Yeah, it is for them.
it's not
You're
that
talking
young
about
of a
guys that
song
are in their
either.
You
probably
know-
early 20s, and you're what, almost 50? Did you say?
Oh my gosh, Matt.
Well, I'm just saying.
Have you
this is
have you
song-
seen those memes where it's
Do you
like
wanna know-
the guy says something and then it's funeral music afterwards?
Oh my gosh.
This
No.
is
Well,
I will be
okay.
44 in August. I'm a Leo. Oh, 44 is an angel number too.
there you go. Yeah.
I don't remember what that means. But.
Angel, golden birthday, whatever it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
that song. Are you ready?
Wait,
song
let
is
me guess. Okay.
20 years old. That song is 20 years old.
2000
So most of those guys.
What
that
year
you're-
did it come out?
25.
2005. That song came out in 2000.
That's when I graduated college.
Oh my gosh. So these guys that are talking in the yard, though, they're probably in their early 20s.
They were
Their
probably
parents were probably playing. I mean, I DJ and I play song. Like on Saturday, I played Since You Were Gone, and all the kids were going nuts. They were like
Are you
16.
serious?
Yeah, they
I'm
actually
just
like
saying,
a lot of that
The reason
stuff.
they
like
were giving you
Kesha
looks
and, like,
is because they don't know what song
No, I
you're
think I
talking
just
about.
I think
so
it
you
was
probably
just
look
like
even more foolish than you
6
had
foot
thought.
tall blonde woman coming at them in work clothes, like singing. I think I just caught them off guard. I honestly.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, it
And I
was
would
just
encourage you to keep that up.
like who's
That's
that
what.
giant behemoth that was singing a song from the past.
But
to
you know
us?
what? That's what we love about 2 Men in a Truck is they're fun.
Yeah,
and
we're
they're
Yeah.
taking
fun.
things, not too seriously, and that's the kind of presence that you want
Yeah.
when you're hiring someone during a
moving
stressful
company.
situation.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
that has that kind of
Fun
lighthearted
and
attitude.
and
I'm
professional.
Like, and I'm the out in the field gal, so I got to be a little wacky. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
you got to
right.
connect.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
you can
back
just
on
Google,
track.
You can just Google 2 Men in a Truck. Google 2 Men in a Truck, and you can book them there. Or if you hop on madeformorerealty.com, you just
Yes.
use a little chat widget, reach out to us.
Yeah.
And Lyndsay said she'd get us a discount. So anybody
Yes.
that reaches out that way, we'll give you guys a discount.
Yes, and
So.
definitely be sure to mention if you're a senior or a veteran. those are the better discounts than what I can give. But I can also definitely give discounts.
Discounts. 2 men in a trunk. Thank you so much for being on.
Yay, thank you.
All right, it's time for this week's listing of the week. Johnny, take it away, buddy.
Are you looking for space, comfort, and convenience? Well, check out 3862 Mission Avenue in Carmichael. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, corner lot home with two-car garages. That's a total of 4-car garage space, and it has RV access. And it has a private backyard with a pool and a waterfall and a spa-covered patio and gazebo. Come enjoy the ceiling fans in every room. It's just a layout made for living. If you love fresh fruit, you'll love this home because you will have apple, cherry, and pomegranate trees right in your yard. All in a quiet neighborhood close to parks, schools, shopping, and freeways. Don't miss out. Call me, Johnny Jennings, at madeformorerealty.com today.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings. Online at madeformorerealty.com.
Matt, I am not an alarmist. I tend to be like, okay, let's just wait and see what happens.
Sure, that's good.
But I am like Jen, Valor and I were sitting on our back porch the other night. Actually, we were sitting there with Chad from Thrive Stewardship, whose hats you rock. Yeah,
right?
Francis, you got it. And Valor and I are like legitimately concerned for the housing market. Like right now is when the housing market is typically popping off and
Sure.
and going like there's
Right,
a
the
lot
early
of
summer months.
a lot of buyers, sellers are doing their thing, and what we're noticing is it's almost like cooling. It's cooling when it should be heating up, and so that really makes us nervous for what fall and winter is going to look like for this year, and maybe even early spring of 26, because.
So when you say it's cooling, are you saying fewer and fewer homes being sold, basically, bottom line, right? Simple as that?
Yeah, well, it's taking longer. So when I say cooling, it's taking longer and prices are coming down.
Yeah.
Like there's this beautiful house that we have listed. I thought, no question in my mind, it was going to sell for $1 million. Like it was going to be a steal if they got it for $985. And just today we got, we talked to them and we're going to do a price adjustment below $950. Right? And it's been on the market about 30 days. So it's, again, not a very long time.
Right.
But this thing would have flown off the market this time last year. And that is a hard thing for home sellers to hear, that, hey, my house might sell for less than my neighbor's house sold for. And so sellers are really nervous about that. Meanwhile, you got to put the shoe on the other foot.
Sure.
And buyers are like, well, if I'm buying this house and the market might be going down, I might be buying something that's worth less
Right.
in a little bit. So why don't I just wait?
Right.
And so if you're a seller right now, you really have to price that home competitively to stand out in the market from the other homes that are on the market.
Right.
And to entice that buyer to come along and be willing to, air quotes, take the risk to purchase your home. So it's just a really interesting
What do you
time in real
attribute this
estate.
to?
Affordability. It comes down to affordability. So you go back to 2020, 2021, when prices just skyrocketed. What happened? Interest rates came down. And because interest rates came down, people pay up, like they buy a house. Yes, you think about the purchase price, but what you care about more is that monthly payment.
Right.
And when interest rates dropped down into the high 2s, then all of a sudden you could buy a more expensive house
Sure.
for a more manageable payment.
Yes.
Well, what's happened since then is prices have stayed stubbornly high, despite interest rates not being in the 2s, but being up in the high 6s, low 7s.
Yeah.
So to put that in context, I heard described one time, every percent change in the interest rate, so if it goes from a 3 to a 4, you just lost 10% of your buyer pool. If you go from a 4 to 5, you just lost an additional 10%.
That's a lot.
Right? And so the buyer pool has shrunk, and prices really have not come down because sellers haven't been willing to make a move.
Right.
And so there's been limited inventory with limited buyers, so that's been able to keep the prices high. But what most people don't even really think about is the reason why the Fed started jacking up the interest rates initially. Yes, they were talking about curbing inflation, but when they talk about curbing inflation, what that really means is, one, they're trying to get prices to come down on the homes, and then two, they're also trying to increase unemployment. And most people don't like it. The Fed's not going to go out, hey, we have to increase unemployment.
I think it all works together is what they believe, right?
But that's what they're doing is they're trying to get that. And so interest rates are still really high.
Because obviously inflation has been out of control.
It was.
And in order to bring that down, you have to increase unemployment. Is that not, would you say that's not true?
Yeah. So you got to decrease the amount of money.
And that's
in the
tough,
system.
especially when you're looking at the current Trump administration, where they don't want to see any of that. They want it all to work out well. They want unemployment to go down and inflation to go down at the same time.
Well, the reason why I think
while avoiding a recession.
So to oversimplify it, why there was so much inflation in the economy was they were just throwing money at everything.
Yeah.
So now the other way to reduce inflation is to reduce spending. And so if the government is reducing spending, then that's another way to bring inflation down.
So what was the conclusion of your conversation in realizing that the real estate market is not heating up, it's actually cooling down?
So the conclusion was we're just going to keep our
nose to the grindstone
in our business, but like also just keep an eye on it. And that's what we tell clients all the time. If you're buying a house, don't plan to sell it next year.
Yeah.
Like I get it, life happens. Sometimes things are outside your control. But if you're planning to just be here a year or two, like right now, we got a guy, he bought here, he moved here for his job, and then he retired. And now he's wanting to sell his house. Well, he just bought the house like 15 months ago in a new development community. So there's new houses being built around him, and he's looking to sell his house. And if you were a buyer in that neighborhood or looking in that neighborhood, would you want to buy the guy's house who's already built? Or would you want to pay less, get a better interest rate, and get to pick the fit and finishes of the home? Probably you want to just, get the better deal. But, he wasn't necessarily planning on making a move. So
yeah, and I've read many articles that say real estate is still the best long-term investment. So if you're looking at the situation as, okay, we're going to be in this home for many years, then still, wouldn't you agree it's the best long-term investment? You're going to see a return on your investment.
Well, it depends on what you say when investment. If you're talking about buying a home as a place that you live in, I wouldn't say that's a good investment.
Well, look at the equity that most people in the greater Sacramento, if you've owned your home for 10 or more years, you've seen a lot of growth in the equity of your home.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But also in that same period of time, how much have you paid in interest?
Right.
How much have you paid in property taxes? How much have you paid in maintenance of the home? Like there's these costs that people don't factor in on their investment. And so if you look at the return, there's probably better investment vehicles out there. So when I say but now change that. Let's say it's just
if you're living at the home at the same time,
But let's say it's an investment property, then there's ways that you can generate phenomenal returns above and beyond what the stock market historically does. So there's a little bit of a difference. I think it's a good choice if you're looking to live there long term.
Right.
It's a great investment if you're buying real estate to then rent out as an investment.
Yeah.
But basically where we left it with the conversation was one of two things has to happen. Well, actually, you have three options. One, wages can go up, but I don't see wages increasing dramatically. That's a tough lever to pull in the next 12 to 24 months.
Right.
So let's not consider that. So that really only leaves us with two options. One, interest rates come down, and that means prices will stay high, and they might even go higher, right? Because then it goes to the affordability thing. So interest rates come down or prices come down, and interest rates stay high. So those are the two things that we see happening in the market in the next 12 to 18 months. Just depends on if the interest rates stay where they're at, if the Fed refuses to drop interest rates, which I'm not necessarily opposed to. I think inflation should get under control because else you're like they've been working on this for years.
Right.
But if they hadn't done this, there would have been many more years of pain in the economy.
True.
I think this is a short-term pain for long-term gain. So anyways, I know like Trump and everybody's pressuring them to start dropping rates, but what do they drop it to? Is 7 to 6 going to do it? Because they did that briefly and it didn't move the needle at all.
I think you have to do more than that. Yeah.
Right. And so is it 7 to 5?
I think you have to get it. I think you have to get it to 5 and under. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, that's what everybody says. But then it's still speculation. So now you've pulled that lever. What are you going to do? And it didn't work. Now inflation's a problem again. Are you going to start raising interest rates? Now you just
I don't know if inflation would be a factor again. You think if we if they lower interest rates to, let's say, 5%, you think we start seeing higher interest rates?
So I'm saying we don't know. And it's really hard. Like people are all frustrated with the market right now because of the tariffs, right? Because again, the government has been like having a heavy hand in what's happening in the market. And if the government has a heavy hand in interest rates and just all of a sudden slams them down to 5%, and it doesn't work, it doesn't provide that jolt of electricity into the economy that they're hoping it does, then do they go to 4%, or do they have to like start walking it back up? Like they're just totally messing with the market.
Sure, yeah.
And so I'm like, let's let the market like heal a little bit. You guys pumped trillions of dollars into the economy, drove up inflation, so now you had to jack interest rates back up. And now, so I'm just like, let it heal. Just let it figure itself out. So what I would like to see happen is keep the interest rates where they're at. Let's see prices fall, because wages have not kept up with the home prices. They absolutely have not. Let's see home prices fall, and let's see this kind of like level out a little bit. That's my thought.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and you're seeing builders do this too. Like Lennar, for example, Lennar typically does not pay buyer's agent fees. So if you were a buyer and I walked in with you, they would not pay me to represent you in that transaction.
They are now, huh?
Recently, they started offering, and that's always to me, that's happened a couple of times in the past, and that's a key indicator of, things are slowing down, because now they're trying to entice realtors to bring their clients by. And so builders are offering some phenomenal discounts right now if you're looking to purchase new construction.
Yeah.
Like they're throwing in solar. You can get interest rates in the 4s. Like the builders are offering this stuff. They're providing upgrades. They're just doing just about anything to move these properties. So to me, that's also like, it's very interesting. You would think like a new home smell, like a new construction home would sell for a premium, but right now they're even struggling to compete with the resale homes.
Why?
I just think the new people are thinking there's a lot there. I don't have like one specific reason, but if I was purchasing a new build community, I would be nervous about how the value is what's going to happen to that value long term. And Melrose, probably a more direct answer would be Melrose. People hate that.
Sure.
Like it's like real estate commissions. People will sell their home for less money to avoid paying a realtor.
Right.
Like there's less money going into your bank account because you didn't pay a real estate agent, but you don't care because you didn't have to pay a realtor. People will buy in a less desirable community just so they don't have to pay Melrose.
It's true. Yeah.
It's just there's something about it. I don't understand how, I don't understand it. But hey, if you want to buy in a community that doesn't have Melrose, we'll help you. If you want to buy in a community that does, we'll help you. But anyways.
So do you see that most new construction have these Melrose?
Most of them do. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It just helps. So how it was described to me once was it helps them keep their prices low. So rather than paying for all these developments, like the sidewalks, the lights, the streets, all that stuff, it kind of just gets financed.
Oh, interesting.
Into the Melrose.
So I know it varies, but how much are you looking at on a regular basis?
Well, I don't want to give like a range, but you're looking at hundreds of dollars.
Okay. Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
In the impound account. Yeah. So it's not the.
But if you're looking at the monthly, again, you always go back to that. People look at the monthly and then you tack that on.
They do.
That's
probably, I think that might be why some of these newer communities are developing. And some of these, like if you consider West Roseville's doing much better with bringing in, like they're bringing in a Costco, they're bringing in
absolutely, yeah,
grocery stores. But for a lot of those areas, it's still kind of out there. So if you want to run to the grocery store, if you want to go do something, if you want to drop your kids off at a school, it's like a 30 to 45 minute round trip.
But if you're coming from the Bay Area, where you've got nothing nearby,
but if you don't have to do that, you can just buy a house that's close to.
I know, but I don't get it.
Would you want to live in a new home, or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, you're not dealing with any of the issues of a pre-owned home. Yeah.
So, like, do you like?
But then I'd also consider those Melrose. It all factors in.
So here's something, and then we'll end on this. I was recently meeting with. And again,
it just depends on the development. Like, is it out in the middle of nowhere, like you said? Are there trees nearby? Is it all just flat? I mean, you take into all those factors. Is it mature? In the case. Yeah. And but then those if you're telling me that there's a lot more price incentives and I'm getting discounts, then that factors in as well.
Yep. So there was a woman, and she was selling her house. She bought this new house. She wanted a fresh start. Within she's only lived there since February, and we're recording this in June, so not even half of a year. And brand new house. She's the first person to live in there. The water line for the fire suppression system burst above her kitchen, flooded her kitchen. The hot water, the tankless water heater, went out. The AC condenser went out. Like brand new house, all this stuff.
Is there a lemon law when it comes to buying a new house?
That's what I was saying. But what she did, which I think was really cool, and so if you are buying a new construction home, make sure you get a home inspection, and make sure like if they have like a warranty. For like the first year, make sure you get a home inspection.
Is it only for the first year?
Depends on the stuff, but let's just say it's a year. At the around month 10 or 11, have a home inspection company come out.
Yeah.
Inspect the property, and then it's not you telling the builder, hey, this is what I think. This is like an inspection company with videos and reports and everything saying, hey, look, you need to fix this stuff. This was supposed to be covered. And then all of a sudden...
That's really smart. Yeah.
So if you listen to the end of the show, you got that little tip on how to deal with new construction homes.
Something smart in this week's show to go away with.
Something smart. So you got 2 men in a truck and how to get reimbursed for your repairs that first year in a new home. And why not to buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Melrose. All right. Well, hey, we'll see you next week.
All right. It's time for this week's listing of the week. Johnny, take it away, buddy.
Are you looking for space, comfort, and convenience? Well, check out 3862 Mission Avenue in Carmichael. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, corner lot home with two-car garages. That's a total of 4-car garage space, and it has RV access. And it has a private backyard with a pool and a waterfall and a spa-covered patio and gazebo. Come enjoy the ceiling fans in every room. It's just a layout made for living. If you love fresh fruit, you'll love this home because you will have apple, cherry, and pomegranate trees right in your yard. All in a quiet neighborhood close to parks, schools, shopping, and freeways. Don't miss out. Call me, Johnny Jennings, at madeformorerealty.com today.
Again, that's madeformorerealty.com, madeformorerealty.com.